everyone, I welcome you all to my channel. So for today we are going to be drafting pattern for pencil skirt. So these are the basic measurements required in a pencil skirt: our waist measurements, hip measurements, and our skirt length. So our waist measurement is 30 inches plus 2 inches. Now why am I adding these 2 inches? This is for our room allowance, that is your lining allowance. So we have 32 inches divided by 4 because it's folded into 4 plus 2 inches. So this 2 inches covers 1 inch for our darts and also 1 inch for our sewing allowance. So we have 10 inches. So for our hip plus 2 inches, we have 36 divided by 4 plus 1 inch. Now why am I adding 1 inch to the hip allowance and we added 2 inches to the waist allowance? Basically it's because in our waist we have that on the waist, and for the hip there is no dart allowance for the hip, so that is why I added 1 inch. So we have 10 inches. And so for the skirt length I have 24 inches. Because I want to turn it up with lining, I'm going to add about 2 inches to give me 26 inches. So these are the basic measurements required when drafting a pencil skirt pattern. Okay, so now let's move to the pattern paper. So for today's class I'm going to make use of this pattern paper. Now this pattern paper is available at our store, and one thing I love about this pattern paper is about 60 inches long, so it serves you for a complete outfit. So you can also place your order for this pattern paper. I'm going to put the details down below at the description bar. Okay, so now this is our pattern paper. The first thing I'm going to take note of is our skirt length. So I'm making use of this for the skirt length. Okay, and this line here becomes our center line. So this is for the front panel. So we are cutting the front panel different from the back block. So this is our center. Make sure you write it, our center line, in order for you not to mix it up at the end of the day. So this is the center line and this is the front block. Okay, so we are dealing with the front block first. So this is our front block and this is our center line. So now the next thing we have to do is to mark our basic measurements. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe. So the first thing we are going to be doing is this line here becomes our waist measurement. So we are going to mark 6 inches. Why are we marking 6 inches? This is for our upper hip. 6 inch for the upper hip, 8 inches for your lower hip. And so from my shoulder to my knee measurement, I'm going to make use of 18 inches. Let me come back again. This is our waist measurement. Waist to our upper hip is 6 inches. From our upper hips to our lower hips is 8 inches. To our knee measurement is 18 inches. So I'm going to draw this line again. So we have 6 inches, 8 inches, and 18 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ruler to connect the lines together. So I'm going to connect the lines together like this. So this is our lower hip, and this is our upper hip, lower hip, and our knee measurements. Okay, so it is very easy. So let me just write it down. We have lower hip. So this LH is lower hip. We have, sorry, this is upper hip rather. We have lower hip, and this is our knee measurement, and this becomes our skirt length. So you won't forget easily. So now we have to take our waist measurement. Our waist measurement is 10 inches. You can see I started from here because this becomes our center line where you are going to place on the center fold. So our waist measurement is 10 inches. Our waist measurement is 10 inches. So I'm going to mark 10 inches. I'll come down to where I have my lower hip. Where you have your lower hip is where you are going to mark your hip measurement. So my hip measurement is also 10 inches. I hope you guys understand this. So I'm going to use my armhole curve to connect our hip measurements, our waist measurements to our hip measurements. Okay, so this is what we have. You can see we have the shape of the hip already. Now we are going to come down to your knee measurements. For your knee measurements, it actually depends on how pencil you want it to be. So let's say you want it to really bring out the shape of the pencil. We are going to subtract 1.5 inches. So our hip measurement is 10 inches. So in order for you to become very pencil, we are going to take away 1.5 inches. And if you don't want it to be very pencil, you can take away 1 inch. So whichever one you want. But for normal standard, I'm going to take away 1.5 inches. So I have 10 minus 1.5 inches. I'm going to have this. I hope you guys understand. So for you to know the number of inches you are going to take, it depends on how the client wants the shape of the pencil skirt to fall. So I'm going to connect the lines together. I'm going to connect the lines together all the way down. Okay. So don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, please. So this is our hip curve, and this is where we took in 1.5 inches. You can also make yours 1 inch. So you connect the line all the way down. So the next thing we have to do now is to get our darts. So for you to know the number of inches you are going to use for your darts, when somebody hip falls between 30 to let's say 45 inches, you make use of 4 inches for your dart. So I'm going to mark 4 inches for my dart. I'm starting from this point because this becomes my center line. So I'm going to mark 4 inches for the dart. This is where I have 4 inches. Now I'm going to mark half inch on both sides because we are going to make use of this half inch to connect the dart. Now the essence of marking our upper hip is because that is where your dart is going to end. So for my upper hip, I will mark 4 inches. What I did here was, for the waist, I took 4 inches and I marked half inch on both sides. And for the upper hip, I only marked 4 inches. So I'm going to use my ruler and connect the lines together to give us our dart measurements. Okay? So this is what we have for the dart. Now, because the human block is not straight, so you can't have a straight edge like this for your waist allowance. Okay, so I'm going to come to the center line and mark half inch because our waist is not actually straight. So I'm going to take away this half inch like this. I'm going to take away this half inch like this, so it will give us that curvy shape as the body edge. So this is what we have now for the front block. So I'm going to cut this out and show you guys how to close up your dart. There is what they call dart manipulation. So by the time you close up your dart, you are not going to have a dart on the fabric. Okay, so let me cut it out and show you guys how to do that. So this is what we have already. You can see I've cut it out. So this is the front panel. This is our center line, upper hip, lower hip, knee measurements, and our skirt length. Now don't forget to always write it down because you might forget. So for you to close up your dart, now when you close up your dart, the essence of you closing up your dart, while I'm explaining, let me be closing up the dart. So the essence of you closing up your dart is it gives your work like a very perfect finishing. Like, it's not compulsory you close up your dart, but it makes your work very neat. Now by the time you close up your dart, your skirt is not going to have a physical dart. Your skirt is not going to have a physical dart because you've actually closed it up, but it's also going to give you the fitting of the dart. I don't know if you understand. You can close it up and you can leave it. If you are leaving it, it means you are going to hold your dart. If you are closing it up, it means you are not going to have dart. So you just place this on your fabric and then you cut it out. So this is for the front panel, and this is how when you are closing your dart, make sure you close it exactly where you have the line. Okay, so now let me show you guys how to cut the back panel. So that is for the front panel. So you can also order for our patterns. We have ready to wear patterns, that is our patterns that are readily available. So if you also want to get patterns, to fit in your shape, you can also place your orders. So I'm going to put down the details down below. So what I'm going to mark now is I'm going to mark about 1.5 inch for my zip allowance. 1.5 inch for my zip allowance. I'm going to mark it all the way down. 1.5 inch for my zip allowance. Okay, so after that, I'm going to use my ruler to connect the lines together. I'm going to connect the lines together. If you haven't subscribed yet, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. So the next thing we are going to do, I'm not going to trace it on it because so peradventure you don't understand the front one, you'll be able to pick it up from the back one. So now we are going to take our measurements again. We are starting from this point now because it's our zip allowance. So indicate it, your zip allowance. Okay, so from this point we are going to mark our waist measurement. Our waist measurement is 10 inches. Okay, now let's take the basic measurement again. From the waist, we mark 6 inches, 8 inches, and 18 inches. Just like the way we did in the front panel. 6 inches, 8 inches, and 18 inches. So I'm going to connect these lines together. So don't forget that this 6 inches is for our upper hip. This 8 inch is for the lower hip. And this 18 inches is to indicate where we want the curve to fall. So we have upper hip, lower hip, and our knee measurement, and this is our skirt length, of course. So now let's take our waist measurement. Our waist measurement is 10 inches. You come to your lower hip to mark your hip measurement, not the upper hip. So our hip measurement is 10 inches. Now we took 1.5 from the front panel, don't forget. So we are also going to take away the same 1.5. So if you took 1 inch in the front panel, you are going to maintain your 1 inch in the back panel too. So I'm just connecting the lines all the way down. So connect your lines all the way down. And the armhole curve. Okay. Now don't forget to order for pattern paper. This pattern paper is actually very important and it's readily available, and we deliver across the world. And you can also get our ready to wear patterns already, so you can also place your order for that. So these are our waist measurements now, our hip measurements, our knee measurements, and our skirt length. This is our zip allowance. Now for us to get the dart for the back, the dart for the back is different from the dart from the front. From the dart in the front panel, we took 4 inches, right? But for you to get the dart in the back panel, we have your waist measurement. You have your waist measurement minus 1 divided by 2. Your waist measurement minus 1 divided by 2. So our waist measurement is 10 inches. Minus 1, we have 9 inches. Divided by 2, we have 4.5 inches. So waist measurement minus 1 divided by 2 is for the back panel. So we have 4.5 inches. So this is our 4.5 inches. So you mark half inch on both sides. Don't forget. So on your lower hip, you mark 4 inches. 4.5 inches rather. So I'm going to connect it together like this. So this is what you have for your dart allowance. Okay. Now the difference between the back panel and the front panel, this is our front panel, is for you to, when you want to close up the flap you have at the down part of your skirt, like the bottom part, you actually want it to close up very well. You come this your lower hip, mark 1 inch below your lower hip. 1 inch below your lower hip. Now you come down to your skirt length. You can make use of 1 inch or you make use of half inches, but for a beginner it is advisable you make use of half inches, so you won't end up exceeding the line you have for your zip allowance. So this is where I have 1 inch below the hip measurement, and then at the skirt length you mark half inch or 1 inch. It depends on how you are able to handle it. So what we are going to do now is we are going to draw this line like this. This is our half inches. You are going to connect this line all the way to this point. Okay, you are going to connect the line like this. Now the essence of this in a pencil skirt is to give you that perfect fitting at the back of your skirt. Okay, so you connect it like this all the way down. You connect it like this all the way down. So we are going to cut off this excess now. We are going to cut off this excess to give you a very perfect shape. So this is what we have for the back panel. So let me cut it out and show you guys what it looks like. So now this is our back panel. Now you will discover that we didn't take away half inch at this back panel. So the reason is because for your back panel, because of the the bottom at the back, you might not necessarily, or you don't need to take away the half inch. It is only compulsory at the front panel. So I'm closing up my darts. Okay, so I'll close up the darts for both the front panel and the back panel. So now I've closed up the darts for the back panel. So this is our back block and this is the front block. So basically the difference between the back and the front block is at the front we took away half inch at the waist, and for the back panel there is no need for that. And for your back panel you have zip allowance. Now from the skirt length you take away half inch or 1 inch. For a beginner it's advisable you make use of half inches, but if you're a professional you can undo 1 inch. So you just take it away. So at the bottom part of the skirt you're not going to have this bogus part. And also for you to know the number of inches you're going to take in at your knee level, it depends on how you want it to be penciled. You can make use of either 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So this is what we have for the front panel and for the back panel. So if you love this video or you find it very educative, don't forget to give us thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Now don't forget to order for your pattern papers. Okay, your pattern papers, and we have readily available patterns at our store. So if you want to see how to place this on the fabric, just drop your comments down below, especially when it has to do with closing up of the darts. Okay, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.